would be about 3,000 per month, depending on where she was staying and how much help she needed and what fees she was paying.
Yeah.
So she needed the basic housing. She needed utilities. She needed a lot of money for transportation because she was traveling back and forth from her housing to the police station to get information or to provide them with information that they were requesting from her. The cost of food. So basically we were maintaining a household there.
Yeah. And how much, I don't think we asked this question, how much was the rental car company trying to get you to pay initially?
First they were saying pay them $5,000, then they asked for $10,000. So the price just kept increasing anytime I went up to the rental car agency to ask.
Did you end up having to pay them anything?
No, not in the end, no.
Okay. And when you found out, how did you find out that your travel ban had been lifted?
I actually got a call from somebody. They actually called my friend's phone. They said, hey, your travel ban has been lifted. You can come down to the public prosecution office and pay us 5,000 AED, which is, I forgot how much that is in US dollars, but
1,392 because it came from me.
Okay.
yeah.
She remembers.
Okay.
And then they gave you your belongings back.
Well, I ended up getting my belongings back from the officer like a day prior to that. So everything kind of worked with the faith of God. I was really excited. It was like heaven. So I went to the police station and they helped me get my things back. And I explained to them what happened. And it was so easy. I didn't have to pay anything to get my belongings. I was so excited. I got my phone, my wallet, and my passport. And my flight was booked as soon as the next day.
And you left.
And I left, yes.
What do you think changed? Because you were being held there. You were getting the runaround. You weren't getting any answers about when that travel ban would be lifted, when your belongings would be returned. You were surviving without a credit card. What happened? Why did that just shift?
I got in contact with my mom. I finally told her like what was happening. I was kind of like afraid and ashamed that, hey, I'm stuck over here for shouting. It's kind of embarrassing. So she got in contact with Rhoda Sterling out of detained in Dubai. And then I got in touch with U.S. Embassy. U.S. Embassy got in contact with Ms. Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee. And from there, my mom kind of got in contact with other people here in Texas, and everything just started taking off from there. And I also got help with Patrick, the U.S. consulate in Dubai as well. He was very helpful too.
Congresswoman Lee, when you heard, just my question for you is, when you heard her story, what were your thoughts and what caused you to kind of jump in the way you did?
Well, I have been an advocate for hostage return and Americans overseas and for a very long time. Do a lot of international work as a member of Congress from the various war zones and issues there, and so I was very, very tuned in to how painful it could be when you are lonely and when you feel left alone, and how painful it is for her mom or the relative of the person that is inappropriately held. She had not been declared wrongfully detained, which is a status that the State Department gives. But having just recently gone through, as I indicated, the fight for Brittany Griner to return home, wrongfully detained, Trevor Reed, wrongfully detained, Paul Whelan, who is still in Russia, wrongfully detained, and then a number of hostages in places such as Iran, I just knew that it is important to know the protocols of nations and to be respectful, but I also know that they can take advantage of Americans. And this was a young American. And so when Mrs. Baxter called, when she had gotten in touch with Donnelly Keith of Fox 26, and she called, and then I called Ms. Baxter, and then I began starting from the State Department and with the Consul General, and then as the Consul General was traveling back to Dubai, then Patrick and I reached each other, and that really was a deep engagement because every step of the way I began to push him to negotiate on behalf of Tierra, to really get pushy, because I knew that's how you do it. You have to show the strength of.
Very good. Darlene, is there anything you wanted to?
Oh, I was gonna, I could tell as you talked about that day in your transaction with that representative, just thinking about it and what took place. I mean, it seemed like it was very emotional, that it was just, I could see in your eyes that, can you talk a little bit about what was?
Oh, the transaction with the
Just
employee?
with your emotions, I could see it coming back to you as you talked about it, how just impacting it was for you, like scary and.
Just scary and very traumatizing. Because I remember the day like it was yesterday. Because that day like changed everything. So that's all I would definitely say.
You didn't expect it to lead to that, and then
No.
just to snowball this into such a big thing to where, you know, all these people had to come and do everything they could to get you.
Yes.
It ain't happening. She ain't crying. She ain't shed no tears. It ain't happening. You see that face? Do you see those eyes? They say the eyes are the windows to the soul. The windows to the... Nah. You see that soul of hers? That soul is vengeful. It looks... again, this is my perception. It's vengeful. It's anger. It's frustration. It's like, yo, why y'all talking to me? That's the type of face that I see. It's like, man, y'all should have got me out. Yo, if y'all haven't dealt with USA women, you really haven't, because no tears will be shed here at all.
I mean, yeah.
I didn't even believe it at first. It took about a month for everything to set in with me. When she first told me, I became curious and concerned, but I thought it was something that would just go away, that we could fix it, pay them some money, and that would be over. But then when I realized the travel ban was in effect and what it meant, that she could not leave no matter what. It wasn't just, okay, give them whatever they were originally asking for and then you can come home. She had to have that lifted in order to be able to return to her family.
Yeah.
And that's when I realized, oh my God, this is very serious. And I can't handle this alone. I need help.
And thankfully for you, that help came.
Yes, it
Very
came.
good. I think we're good.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think we're good.
Shout out to the Blue Book gentlemen, a.k.a. Passport Bros. They can't be us. And then if we did something, we'll take our owners for it, man. But fellas, whenever you traveling overseas, be careful, do your thing, put your head down, obey the laws, see what the laws are, move like you there visiting, move like you there respecting these cultures and people. Shout out to you all, man.